I definitely play some F1 sometimes with beer or whiskey or wine, yes. It's allowed to play the video game slightly under the influence, guys. Don't do it in real life, but the video game, that's completely okay. The thought used to BM on leather. That depends what you consider BM. I think in the eyes of some people, yeah, Todd would probably BM a little bit. But obviously nothing stupid, nothing crazy. Our good friend Johan Merlo is just incredibly competitive in video games. I should try tenets from Uruguay. I don't think I've ever had wine from Uruguay, so that sounds exciting. Well, let's first focus on our PvZ, guys. A big match for D Mauer. He's had a up and down season for us. Especially the beginning was a little bit rough. ShoWTimE, of course, is still a member of BIG, Berlin International Gaming. But for this season of the WTL Code S, we decided to get +1 player. It is allowed to team up with other teams, other orgs, to form one strong team. All 3 members of Basilisk, like, well, 4 including me, like ShoWTimE a lot. And ShoWTimE was obviously very keen on playing in the WTL Code S. So that's why for this one season, we have a 1-year partnership. Or, well, a 1-season partnership. Once the season is over, we will go separate ways, but hopefully as WTL champs. So in the top left side of Amphion, fighting for Basilisk and of course BIG. We are looking at the German Protoss, ShoWTimE and D Mauer. Bottom left side, representing Vitality, we are looking at the main base of Solar. ShoWTimE has been an absolute animal over the last 2 months in Starcraft 2. It's a cliche to say that someone is playing the best Starcraft of his career when he's been playing for 12, 13 years at this point. But it is damn close. I'm not gonna say it's the best ShoWTimE I've ever seen, but it is damn close because he really has looked fantastic. At the Home Story Cup, at the Kung Fu Cup, at the Esports World Cup qualifiers, ShoWTimE really has been insanely awesome. Why only this season? Because obviously after this season, Serral is done with his mandatory military service, and then we always have 3 players that can play. Now, we never know what happens in the future. We don't know what happens with WTL, with Starcraft, with our members. So there is a chance that in the future our lineup could look different. But we are obviously very happy with our 3 players, with Trigger, with Serral, with ShoWTimE. The thing is, I'm not really a player. So when Serral was not available, we would have liked, also just to protect the integrity of the league, a real 4th player rather than sending in me. Because otherwise it would be kind of unfair to our competition. If some weeks Serral was playing, and then the weeks where Serral was not playing, I'm playing. That's not very fair, is it, guys? I know, some of you guys may say, but Roddy, there's not a whole lot between you guys. Yeah, I see it, but there might still be the general consensus that Serral is a tiny bit more powerful than I am. And just to make sure that there's no controversy, we decided to get a real player instead of Roddy. It's going to be a very standard Stargate first year coming out of ShoWTimE. I think Amphion is not a bad ShoWTimE map, guys. There's a lot of ramps. I think overall it screams defense. This is the kind of map where, like, I don't talk to the players necessarily before because I let ShoWTimE prepare in his own way. But I would say think of a Spire. I feel like this map has a hidden Spire written all over it. Solar is a man who does his best work often of lair tech. He can be extreme and go into hive tech very quickly with a lot of lurkers. But to me, it kind of screams that Solar is going to make some sort of a Roachling Ravager attack, maybe with some queens, and then he's going to drop a Spire behind it. That is what I am feeling. Or at least that is something that I'd be worried about, especially on a map like Amphion. Have we met pro player in ranked matches? Yeah, of course. Throughout history, I've done that many times. I have played ladder games against Serral. And one of them was close. You guys may not believe that. But on Paladino Terminal, a very tiny, weird, bad map, I almost had him. It is my one claim to fame. But on Paladino Terminal, I almost had him. And Yona will remember that game. Oracle flies into the main base, activates Pulsar Beam. Good defense so far by Solar. Morphs the drone into a Spore immediately. I got Gabe on the ladder once or twice. And he even gave me a compliment. He said my build was bad, but because it's bad, nobody would expect it, and it's very powerful. That is one hell of a compliment. I was like, yes! Oracle activates pulsar beam and guns down a couple of the drones. Can you download and cast the games you had with pro players and upload it in YouTube? No. Because I don't cast games that are not live. And before you guys say, but Reynor Mario wasn't live. Yes, but nobody knew the games. They had never been shown to the public. I don't cast replays. Like, how am I going to cast a game that has already been played by myself? Wow, this looks so good for Roddy. Can he do it? Will the stasis trap go off? Yes, it does. It's like, if I already know that it happens, that sounds incredibly silly to me. That is a great stasis, by the way, guys. Let's focus on our game. It's a big moment. It's match point for Basilisk and ShoWTimE. And a match point would mean that we walk away with 3 points, couple of adepts, shade on top of the third. We get 2 drones. Could have been better, but it's okay. Those adepts are not that important anymore. They are basic adepts. We did not invest in resonating glaives. We are not going for resonating glaives. No, we don't do that, Houdini. I've also in the past felt self-conscious about like posting wins over pros, because like a lot of pro gamers obviously don't like losing against me, and then it felt a little bit dirty. It's like, oh, look who I win, and I'm trying to score points over them. I did have an absolutely insanely cool game once with ShoWTimE. That was legit a bang. I was like 25 minutes and I won it, and I was so proud of it that I really did want to post it on YouTube. And I asked him in the Twitter DMs, I was like, hey, ShoWTimE, that game was really awesome. I feel bad about posting it, but would you mind if I upload it to YouTube? And he just responded, haha, I don't care, go ahead. But then I still didn't do it. Because it just felt, I don't know. It's not something that I like to do. He did not care, but I didn't do it in the end. It was a banger game, though. Now I'm kind of sad. Many years later, I am sad I didn't do it, because I would have liked to look back at it. Triple Oracle. We found 4 drones. We're getting some stasis trappies. Unfortunately, we do end up losing one of the oracles here. Guys, it's fire. I mean, see, if I would have predicted all of this in the beginning of the game and this game wasn't live, people would be like, running such a fake caster. There is a spire going up in the corner of the map, even here on Amphion. It just has a solar spire written all over it. If ShoWTimE finds this, we are cooking. If he does not find it, it is potentially troublesome. Maybe kill 4, but it's not like beef would break out. I can also understand that sometimes people, if they just play a game on the ladder and you're not always like 100% when you play ladder, right? Maybe you just roll out of bed at first game of the day, you have PC issues. If then somebody else posts their win over you on YouTube and everybody sees it, I understand that can be frustrating for some people. Like maybe you don't have to care. It can be a bit annoying. Thank you, dude, for the 26 months. Guys, 10 Mutalisk are on the way with +1 flyer attacks as well. I am a tiny bit concerned. ShoWTimE's army in a straight-up fight is going to be way better than Solar's army. We might see the Mutas pop here, actually, if we just... we don't. I am a tiny bit worried. The oracles are looking for a revelation. The first Mutalisk are out right now. We do at least have +1 Stalkers. Like, that is obviously something, but... I am concerned. I think a good play here, guys, would be recall that War Prism immediately, as we still haven't seen the Mutas, and they are so close to our main. The Mutas are going to fly into it right now. This is obviously bad news. We have a cannon. Cannon is nice. We're going to warp in a couple of Stalkers. I would love a recall, guys, on the War Prism, so we can juggle Archons towards the Mutalisk. I feel like that would be awesome. Solar is just going to take this fight right now against the Stalkers in the main base of ShoWTimE. We're going to build a Phoenix, but it is late. Archons are going to come to the rescue, but it's so many Mutalisks. We do have 4 Zealots being dropped in the main, and the Roaches are out of position, so this is awesome. It is actually so nice for ShoWTimE to at least find a little bit of damage with these Zealots. pull the units back. Oh, Archons, baby. Some good hits there. Oh, one more. Shame. But at least our gateways are still powered. I mean, this was pretty good for Solar, guys, but Solar needs more. Reynor says he thinks mutas are a scam. Solar is going insane. Look at the minimap. All of the units were once more running towards the top right side. And now because of the War Prism play, ShoWTimE did not recall that Prism. And that obviously would have made his defense easier. But it turned out to be a genius move by ShoWTimE not to recall that Prism. Because now we have 4 Solar to turn around with all the Lings and all the Roaches. Not once but twice. So I am very happy he didn't recall that Prism. And this is starting to look very promising for us, guys. Oh, Midas, I just cannot battle the Archons, man. Archons with +2 are sick. We've got 2 Phoenixes. We've got Stalkers. I really thought this was going to be very difficult for ShoWTimE. I don't think it's all that difficult anymore. It is starting to look incredibly promising for us here. Basilisk plus ShoWTimE on match point to walk away with 3 points today in the regular season. Solar is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on Lair Tech Zerg. Mutalisk with flyer attacks. Lings and Roaches. You look at ShoWTimE's army, and you just wonder, how is ShoWTimE ever gonna lose against Lings, Roaches, and Mutas? There's always that first scary moment where the Mutas show up and they start snowballing and they kill 30, 40 probes. And if you then have to worry about like Lings and Roaches elsewhere, it could be very difficult to play against it. I don't want to say ShoWTimE made this look easy, but whew. And Solar will really be kicking himself for not killing that Prism with the Mutalisk. He obviously could have rallied 2-3 Mutas on top of that Prism. Even if he didn't know it was there the first time, the second time it should have absolutely been taken care of by Mutalisk. Muta count is very high and is going to find some success here. These Archon hits! Power overwhelming. If I've ever seen power overwhelming, I love it. There's nothing that I love more than massive Archon hits when I am cheering for the Protoss. And things are starting to look very good here for D Mauer, the man who has qualified for the Esports World Cup. One of the 4 Protosses that will go to Saudi Arabia in a couple of weeks. He's looking damn good here against Solar. Now both players are maxed out, and obviously as long as somebody is maxed out, the game is never over. But ShoWTimE's army is so powerful, man. It is so freaking powerful, and it's going to be really hard for Solar to find a good fight against it. Solar is still trying to buy some time as he bounces back into the main base. He is going to kill the Stargate here, so that's nice for him. No more Phoenix to worry about. Surprised that Blink only now gets started. It is so impressive, by the way, like how little damage ShoWTimE has taken from a guy with this many Mutalisks. A guy like Solar, and we didn't even have Blink Stalkers. Solar is gonna try to run circles around these 4 bases of ShoWTimE. There really is no opening. This is not a fight he can take, man. No. This is not a fight that Solar can take. Fighting Archons near Battery Overcharge and Storm. These Archon hits were monstrous. And did Solar lose anything there? Excuse me, did ShoWTimE lose anything there? Maybe 1 or 2 units. Meanwhile, Solar has already lost 35 Mutalisk in this game. And a lot of the other Mutas are very low on HP right now. 4 Phoenixes still flying around too. 8 more Mutas on the way. The only way that I see this game go wrong, guys, for ShoWTimE, is if ShoWTimE attacks with too little anti-air. But like 4 Archons here, I think that's totally fine. With a 5th Archon, a couple Stalkers in the mix. There's only one way we lose this game, and that is if we attack with like, let's say 2 Archons and 7 Immortals and we lose everything because we run out of anti-air. Solar is making 13 more Mutalisk. This is the highest amount of Muta that I have seen in a little while on a game of Amphion. But ShoWTimE has done such a good job in always making sure he's got enough units at home. As ShoWTimE, he's going to be forced to battle the Mutas this time around. The Mutalisk are going to get on top of those defensive Archons. And Solar finally kind of wins the fight. And he obviously lost a lot of expensive units. There are cannons here. There are Stalkers in the mix as well. Archon hit is absolutely humongous. Second Archon hit pretty damn big too. Solar has now probably lost like 55 Mutalisk in this game. He's building 9 more, guys. It's Mutas in the natural. A lot of them are very, very low on HP. We don't want to lose all our Phoenixes. It's very nice to have some of these Phoenixes flying around. Solar at this point is going to build a fleet storm. Thought we could have a storm. We do have a storm. It's an absolutely monstrous storm. The second storm is great too. So many dead Mutas. Solar is really starting to run out of steam, man. Has probably lost like 65 or 70 Mutalisk in this game at this point. He's a Zerg player with 82 drones. He does have Hive Tech at this point. He's going to fire up its Reynor Glens. ShoWTimE, his fleet beacon is about to finish up. This is not a fight a Mutalisk can take. Archons on both sides. Okay, Mutas turn around to get one Phoenix. Looks really good. Is ShoWTimE gonna give us a regular season victory over Vitality? In season 1, in the regular season, we won with the ace match between Roddy and Crank. Season 2, they won. Season 3, it's starting to look very good for us. Obviously, Vitality used to be called On-Site Gaming. The Mutalisk of Solar are going to get on top of this army. Archons are having a somewhat difficult time, but it is a lot of Mutas falling. The Phoenix is going to show up. The Immortals are so strong on the ground. Stalkers have Blink now, by the way, so they can help out a little bit too. If Solar wins this game somehow, guys, it is actually a heroic victory for the Zerg. I will be incredibly impressed if Solar can somehow win this game. ShoWTimE is moving out. I do hope we have an observer with our army. Yes, we do. The Zerglings are pretty powerful, by the way. They've got +1 melee and his Reynor Glens +2 is on the way. This Protoss army is insanely good. Phoenixes are doing a really good job in just keeping track of the Mutalisk. I think a Revelation on the Mutas would be awesome. Should make our life a little bit easier. So, Solar now has to worry about all these Immortals and Archons and Stalkers that are on creep. How many Archons do we have left? 3, 4. That looks pretty good. 6 more Mutas on the way. ShoWTimE obviously still reinforcing with Phoenixes. We need the Phoenix here though. Phoenixes need to show up. The 2 Archons are not battling with the rest of the army, but we are now gonna let these Archons participate in the fight. And the Immortals have so much HP. They won't just die against a couple of Mutas. There is a lot of Phoenix falling, but it's also everything falling on the side of Solar. He knows it, tilts his head. GG gets called, and we get all 3 points. Demour, baby. Gets the job done. Very, very important map win. And he looked damn good doing it. In game, out of game. 3 points go to us. Which means that we are now second, I believe, guys. Well, tied second in the regular season. Where is Maru? Maru already played against Reynor. We will, however, have one final map between ShoWTimE and Solar. Obviously, there's a little bit of money on the line. Map score could matter with how close it is at the top between Team Liquid, Shopify, WBG, Vitality, and us. Map score could absolutely matter, but obviously the points is the most important thing. And all 3 points will go to us. Serral with a 2-0 victory over Ryang. Got us 2 points on the board. Reynor with a 1-1 draw versus Maru. And it is ShoWTimE who clutches a very important map win here on Amphion. Last game will be played on Post Youth. I am so impressed how well ShoWTimE defended all those Mutas. He saw it so late. He didn't even have Blink. So impressive. Actually, so freaking impressive. Whew. Now it is Clem who's in Korea. Trigger is in Korea, one of the BASILISK players. He is in Korea with Australia, Clem, and Future. ShoWTimE is just chilling in Germany, the way that he's always chilling in Germany. Oh man, that's awesome. What a win for us, guys. 7 in a row right now. Don't forget, we started the regular season 0-2. Losing to Starlight Twinkle, losing to WBG. But after that, we have won 7 in a row. They are just in Korea for fun. Obviously, good practice too. Preparing for the Esports World Cup, but above all, they are there for a good time. They get along with each other incredibly well. All of them are friends, and well, they just have a good time in Korea. I personally think that they did my boy Reynor a little bit dirty. They really could have gone a bit earlier, so Reynor could have actually had some fun with them. Somehow they all show up the moment that Reynor leaves Korea after 3 months. I hope that Reynor knows I would never do that to him. At that point, I wouldn't go at all. If I can spend any time with my boy over in Korea, I'm not going at all. You're not sure if they have a good time right now? You mean Clem, Trigger, Australia, and Future? I'm sure they have. Why wouldn't they have? Are you talking about Solar? No, I'm not talking about Solar. We were talking about the foreigners, mate. Post Youth is a very, very good lurker map. We could actually get a banger on this one. It is obviously a little bit difficult for Protoss to sometimes even go up to 3 bases, but obviously with Adepts and Oracles, if the Zerg is not all hitting, you feel fine. But then going up to 4 bases is very hard. Like, do you take the gold in the center that can just be attacked from so many different angles? Or do you take that base above your natural of your ShoWTimE? But it's so far away from the third. There isn't really a very happy choice there. I know, Athena, they did my boy dirty. But I'm sure that you have an opportunity to have some fun with our boy again. And we're gonna make Trigger, Australia, Future, and Clem regret this choice. We're gonna make some content with Reynor the next time. Perhaps even in Saudi. But I guess the Saudi after nights are not quite the same as in the rest of the world. It is their loss, mate. But I still think they did you dirty. I am hurt on your behalf. They did for sure. Unlucky, mate. Zergling speed on the way for Solar as he's going up to 3 bases. ShoWTimE opening up with Adepts and he's dropping a Stargate. And we're going to take the game from there. When I predicted the Spire play from Solar, and I even said like a hidden Spire, there was this little thought that crossed my mind where he could maybe use a Drop Lord, drop some creep, and build the Spire somewhere in the corner of the map, and I was like, nah. Whenever I say something like that, it just looks stupid, because people only do that on Ladder and in YouTube videos. Or if your name is Bly. And he actually did it. ShoWTimE saw it so late. And we still reign supreme. I'm very happy. Very, very happy with the 3 points. We've got 2 more playdays to go. Berserker Esports on the final playday and Platinum Heroes and R8 next week. I believe that the regular season finishes up before the Esports World Cup. And then the playoffs of WTL Code S will be held after the Esports World Cup. I don't know if they already selected a weekend. I do hope that it's like somewhat close after the Esports World Cup. Because if they do it like a month later, if players like Serral, ShoWTimE and Reynor practice 24/7 to get ready for the Esports World Cup, I also understand that they want a bit of a break of Starcraft afterwards. And it's very annoying if they have to then keep on playing, which obviously naturally you will always slow down a little bit to also stay in shape for the WTL Code S playoffs. They already did, yeah, they did that in the past as well, and then they still moved the weekend. It will not be the first time that they casually move the playoff weekend. I believe they've done that at least 3 times throughout history. So let's hope it is actually happening sometime soon after the Esports World Cup. As the Lings are gonna get on top of the probes, and we'll take it from there. Blink Stalkers is going to be the opening here for ShoWTimE. +1 on the way as well as Solar fires up +1 melee. Solar can probably take the gold as his 4th base. I don't think that's really that scary as a Zerg. What is important is that Solar gets some creep up that ramp in the center of the map. Because if you don't have any vision and you don't control the center, it is actually very annoying to deal with a bunch of stalkers that are chipping away at your hatchery or getting in and out of range of your drones. So creep spread is going to be very, very important here for Solar. Sometimes a good way to make sure you make good progress with creep is just by battling and forcing your opponent to pay attention to their defense. Double cannons being warped in by ShoWTimE, as he's maybe worried about Solar sending it very early. We can see that Solar is obviously still just droning up. Oracles are a little bit stuck. The Oracles have found some success. We got a couple drones here and there. Serral and Reynor did already play, yes. This will be the absolute last game of the day. I will stay online, but I will be playing Formula 1 after Starcraft is done. And as you guys can probably tell, for me mentally this is already done. Like, yeah, this final map matters. There is some money on the line. And map score could come into play, but it is all about winning without an ace match or with an ace match. Once we've got the W, I think it's kind of just stress-free. We're free rolling at this point. If Solar wins this game, it is what it is. If ShoWTimE wins it, awesome, looks really good, but why do you always tune in at the last game today? Might have something to do with your time zone. Done a lot of Starcraft over the last 3 days, mate. And if you manage to tune in every single time during the last Starcraft 2 day of the day, that's impressive. On Friday I was live for 10 hours. Yesterday we were live for like, what, 7 or 8 hours non-stop Starcraft. Today it is close to 4. Oracle's gunned down a few more drones. Storm on the way. ShoWTimE looking pretty safe and sound here defensively. I kind of feel that if Solar wanted to be aggressive with a lair tech army, we should have already seen some progress in that regard. I mean, he's going to build Swarm Host. Alright. I mean, it is a good Swarm Host map. Obviously, you can get Nidus up on the right side of the main as well. The Locust can make it into the natural. You can drop them on top the left side here above the third base of ShoWTimE. And then you can decide to go for the third base or the fourth base in the center. So it is a good map for Swarm Host. I'm a little bit surprised by it, but I guess I don't hate it. Oh, High Templars! Oh no, the High Templars by D-Mauer. They all get surrounded. And sure, we get a couple of storms off, but that is not what ShoWTimE wanted for his HDs. Oh yeah. Transfuse lands on the Overseer as Solar is obviously going to be very happy with that. And Solar, I don't think ShoWTimE is really aware of the Swarm Host. Having to rebuild as 4 High Templars, minus 600 gas, this is incredibly painful. And they will have less Storm to work with as well. ShoWTimE has in the end decided to go for this gold base as the 2 complicated options for a 4th base. I think I covered in the beginning of the game why it is difficult to play this map as a Protoss against the Zor. A couple storms do land on the Locust. Pretty good hold, honestly. This went about as good for ShoWTimE as anything could have. The problem is there's going to be a second wave, there's going to be a third wave, there's going to be a fourth wave. And this will just never stop. That Archon is very low on HP and the battery had no more energy. Even overcharge expired. ShoWTimE is landing some very fat and juicy storms in the middle of all these roaches, but I don't think it's going to go his way. We're down 11 workers. Nice stasis scrappy actually on the Swarm Host, and Solar made a funny face there where he's like, ah, that's kind of annoying. That's pretty funny. I actually don't know this for a fact, but I assume that a Swarm Host in a stasis trap cannot fire Locust, right? That is a very big stasis trap, as one of the Immortals is going to get picked off here. Another fat storm lands in all the roaches. Alright, it is kind of important for Solar that he starts finding a little bit more success soon. Thank you so much, Sturl, W or 003. I appreciate it, matey, for the tier 1 sub. Stalkers are going to get picked off. The High Templar dies. Immortals will get saved by Coco's very famous second overcharge. We might need to heal up your Nexus here for a little bit. ShoWTimE. That's not needed because the Locust expired. Hive Tech on the way. Still like a 45 to 50 army supply lead. I do love the stasis traps above the natural. That's actually very smart because he knows that it's very likely that that's where the Swarm Hosts are going to move. In the end, Solar does get the gold. And that obviously means that ShoWTimE is now barely a 3-base Protoss. Main base will start running a little bit dry. Stasis Trappy, round 2. It's a really cool play. High Templar is a little bit exposed there. ShoWTimE needs to be careful. One of them gets picked off immediately. There's a few more storms connect with these roaches. More Locust land. And ShoWTimE really is battling though. Even though I'm sure that ShoWTimE is already very happy with getting that one map win. Getting us the W today. We can't say that he ain't trying here in the final game of the day. And thank everybody for stopping by today. I feel like we saw some banger games. If you guys missed the first Clan War, there was a fantastic ace match between Oliveira and Classic, and I really recommend you guys check it out. I'm just gonna dub it as one of the better games of the year. Ultra fun. Must watch Starcraft. So if you missed that PvP, I definitely think you guys should go back into the VOD and watch it. Or on somebody else's channel. There's a few more corrosive vials are going to land on Stalkers and High Templars. Locusts make it into the natural ShoWTimE. Took a long time for Solar to finally get these Locusts in, but gets a couple. And Solar is doing, ShoWTimE is doing such an insanely good job in just not dying here. And slowly but steady, you almost believe as he does storm his own army, activates a couple of the barriers. Needs to be careful in that regard. Solar is now a high-tech Zork, guys. 7 lurkers on the way, seismic spines on the way. But ShoWTimE says, I had enough of your roaches, ravagers, Zorklings, and a couple swarmos. I believe that I can battle. And 3-base ShoWTimE, guys. Can he do this? Yeah, so similar to Blink Stalkers, no GG gaming, that makes sense. ShoWTimE casually runs to the other side of the map, and he's going to take out the gold base of Solar. Solar does have a tiny counterattack, but it's not really doing a whole lot. But oh, the lurkers are here, and ShoWTimE blinks into a whole bunch of them. Thank the Lord, Seismic Spines was not done yet. Is that Game of Classic on YouTube? No, it's not on YouTube yet. If you guys want, I can cut it and put it on YouTube. But that will take a couple days. Because I need Vicky to cut it. I cannot cut anything. I cannot cut onions, hamburgers, lettuce, or StarCraft 2 VODs. Vicky, however, can. So, maybe we will do that. ShoWTimE needs to be careful because the lurker count is damn high. There is obviously still the swarm host to be very worried about too. I don't know if that was a cancel or a kill. I'm not sure if Solar canceled that hatch. We didn't quite get to see that. ShoWTimE is playing so good, man. It's actually insane every time I watch him. As I said in the beginning of the series, it's a bit of a cliche to say that ShoWTimE is playing the best StarCraft of his career. Because he's been around forever and he has been a DreamHack Masters champion back then in Tour many years ago. So there's been many moments where ShoWTimE played amazing StarCraft. But when I watch him right now, it is really jaw-dropping. The man is just so freaking resilient. He hangs in there. Nothing catches him off guard. He doesn't panic. He's so good in finding value, keeping forms of harassment alive. And look at him now. The man looked dead and buried 20 times in this game. I'm not saying that he's gonna win it, because this is an incredibly good lurker map. And it can be really hard, even for ShoWTimE Immortals, to kill lurkers here. But hasn't ShoWTimE played amazing? In my eyes, he absolutely did. The Templar sound was kind of funny here. The gold base of ShoWTimE does die once more against obviously a Solar that's also playing an excellent game. And even an excellent series, because I feel like he played damn good in game 1 too. Remember when you owned lurkers on this map? I know. I owe you $100. One day, mate, when I'm rich and famous, you get those 100 buckies. Was a bit of a rip-off though. You took a different fight. That was not the best. As lurkers make their way here on creep, as another revelation connects, couple of storms are going to connect. ShoWTimE will probably look at this army and says, maybe this army is good enough to actually just deal more damage than Solar's army is dealing on the other side of the map. ShoWTimE could really use a few High Templars at home at this point, guys. Because without a storm or two, this is a devastating Zork army to fight. We do have battery overcharge, but Locust and Hydras have incredibly high DPS, and even battery overcharge is going to have a hard time. And this game is just freaking banger at this point. There's another storm lands, 6 drones melt immediately. I'm guessing. I don't know if this is quite peak casting, mate. I'm afraid that I peaked many years ago. But who cares how good it is? If we are still having fun and you guys still like watching it, I'm a happy chappy. There's a couple of the Immortals do melt, and 1 or 2 High Templars died there too. Solar, his supply is honestly problematic because he still has so many Swarmos. Solar needs the Locust right here, right now. Can the Locust show up in time? I want to say yes. What an incredibly close game. What are the Stalkers going to do? The Stalkers blink to the right side. There are a couple of Zerglings that do get on top of them. I mean, I feel like these Locusts could have really done better if they would have just gotten on top of the Immortals. That was perhaps a missed opportunity for Solar, who really is in all sorts of trouble now. Because now he needs to buy time for the next wave of Locusts. Is ShoWTimE winning, guys? Has he actually done it? 3-base ShoWTimE. Is the man just invulnerable at this point? What a game, man. And ShoWTimE lets go of a very deep breath, and perhaps rightfully so. Can we get that Nexus? I think it's blocked by creep. No, it's not blocked by creep. I mean, ShoWTimE is barely a 1-base player at this point. Yeah, the same can be said for Solar, obviously. Solar is going to be kicking himself for the way that he used that final wave of Locust. Like, I think he should have tried to surround the Immortals, and instead he kind of went for Stalkers. But Stalkers are quick, they blink. You can complain, Reynor. If you want to complain about us winning 5-1 against the back-to-back champs? Or is it just back-to-back of WTL Code S? You can moan away. Who is winning? I think it's still very close. But I want to say I think Solar is in trouble. Especially because at this point ShoWTimE's army is a little bit better again than before. Solar is still doing a very good job with his Zerglings, picking up a couple of probes. I mean, it's 9 Lurkers though, guys. 9 Lurkers is a lot of Lurkers. It is hard to run on top of 9 Lurkers. Even though ShoWTimE might say it's not all that tough. What are ShoWTimE's upgrades even, guys? I feel like we haven't seen upgrades in forever. I'm very curious. Show us the Lurkers, mate. This is not the fight. Why are we missing? Oh my god, we just missed ShoWTimE getting on top of the Lurkers because we were looking at 4 Zealots battling a couple of Zerglings. And ShoWTimE takes out this incredibly important base. And is also once more going to completely avoid a full wave of Locusts. However, the Zerglings of Solar are going to get another cancel. Yeah, it is hard to get a 4th base here. What a game. What a game. What a clan war. I cannot replay it. I'm not in the game and I'm also watching this on Twitch. But yeah, even if I was watching on YouTube, I am not allowed to join these games, so I cannot show you guys what I would be looking at. Best game of the day? No. This game is amazing, and it's still not better than Classic Oliveira. That's how good Classic Oliveira was. But this really is a banger game. Few of the Locusts land on the gold base here. Take out a couple of the basic units. Maybe one Oracle. Nope, it's just gonna be Zealots. And the Nexus lives for now. But obviously getting the Nexus online and then actually being able to protect it are two completely different things. Solar's got a lot of gas, but he's probably not in the mood to make a bunch of Infestors. Does not quite have the same impact as making a bunch of High Templars. You've been playing this game for 14 years and you still can't decide if Swarmos are good or bad. I feel like they are very good against medium players, if controlled by great players, but against world-class Protoss players they do sometimes look a little bit underwhelming. This is an important moment for Solar, and he's really not gonna get a lot with this wave of Locusts, guys. Like maybe you get an Oracle, maybe an High Templar, but that is it. Not even High Templar. Alright, ShoWTimE finally has his hands on the gold. Solar does have a pretty damn high lurker count. I would really like to see the upgrades. Do any of you guys know the upgrades, guys? What freaking upgrades does ShoWTimE have? I haven't seen upgrades in forever. Are we looking at like +2 Immortals? Is it +3? Is it 322, 311? Oh wait, there we go. +3 and +1 Plasma Shields. So yeah, 301. I think those Immortals can die. Locusts will land here towards the end and grab maybe 1 or 2 probes and a Zealot or so. Not the best wave of Locusts, but I don't think that Solar really cares. Solar just wants to get more Lurkers out. Because ShoWTimE doesn't quite have that dream army of mass Archon, mass Storm, mass Immortal with 3/3/3 Immortals. I think 3/1 Immortals can absolutely die against Lurkers. Reynor would say that he wins this as the Protoss. I'm starting to feel better about Solar's chances. This is risky, by the way, by D. Mauer. But I assume he knows what he's doing. As the Zerglings of Solar are going to get on top of this 5th base. Great one-buys, man. Solar really has been on point this game. When it comes to Zergling one-buys, getting on top of workers. As now all the Locusts are going to land on top of the gold. There's not much life left. Some of the Locusts were not firing. Whew. I think if all the Locusts were firing there, that Nexus would have died. Reynor says, I win it, like for sure. You think that your Protoss would win from this position against Lambo? Because I will take that bet. I'm betting Lambo here against your Protoss. Double or nothing for the Dallas wager. ShoWTimE is down to 28 probes. You think so? I think from minute 22, I don't think you would beat Lambo or Laser. I know your Protoss is incredibly good, mate. It's a 31 Lurkers. There are 31 freaking Lurkers on the map. And the Immortals have +3 attack, +1 shields. I don't think that's... I mean, I know Storm is sick, and Archons is sick, and Immortals is sick. Here come the Locusts once more as they want. I don't know what they want. Maybe the Nexus, maybe Workers. They don't get anything. Say Lurkers are a fake unit? No. They are in my head. It is true. I do think in my head Lurkers are a tiny bit scarier than what they are compared to pro gamers. I will absolutely agree with that statement. But 31 Lurkers is 31 freaking Lurkers. Oh, the High Templars, they are gonna get surrounded for the 2nd time in this game. Somehow one of them lives. That's actually impressive. That High Templar has a story to tell. You wouldn't do that. Of course you wouldn't, mate. ShoWTimE gets on top of a couple of the Swarmers as they fire another wave of Locusts. One Storm does land on the Hydras. Can he finally get that Nexus? Nope, he doesn't go for it. He goes for something else. I do think, though, that the 31 Lurkers are crawling their way forward. I don't think there's a way for ShoWTimE. Does land a couple of nice Storms. Softens up some of these Lurkers. Takes a really good fight there on the right side. Okay. That was very strong on the side of ShoWTimE. That was not quite it for Solar. Solar now tries to get on top of this army one more time. Might be able to trap one Immortal with the Zerglings. It's not quite going to get that. There's a big fight happening in the center of the map that I would love to take a little look at. The gold base has died. Again, 134 army supply for Solar. We are now witnessing 2 armies, but I think the Locusts are going to take care of the final mining base. With the Lurker support here as well. This army in the bottom right side is in trouble. We have to recall it, but while we recall it, we lose every single High Templar besides one, and even one of the Immortals. ShoWTimE loses another Nexus, as he probably realizes that this is really it. But Lurkers on trip, they should be able to run on top of this army. At least if we have all of them. I think it's it, guys. ShoWTimE has played a banger game, and he really showed us that even on a difficult map like Post Youth, he is an absolute animal. With his back up against the ropes for many rounds. He hung in there like a champ, but I think in the end it is Solar, who also played a fantastic game. It takes 2 to tango, and obviously we are witnessing 2 of the best Starcraft 2 players on the planet, playing a match that doesn't quite have the same implications as the previous one, but they did really battle like their life depends on it. Lurkers are gonna run on top of the final Immortals, the final Archons. It is Lurker galore. They will burrow and they will demolish these final Protoss forces. GG gets called. Solar obviously not super happy because he knows the clan war is over. At least I'm sure he's very happy that he won that game. ShoWTimE, mate, you played insanely good today. You played absolutely insanely good. A 1-1 between Reynor and Maru. That is how we kicked off this clan war. Then we had Serral staying undefeated in this season of the WTL Codex with a 2-0. And we have ShoWTimE getting a point on the board against Solar. Awesome games, man. Awesome games. Awesome clan war. And that will do it. We went from 0-2, bottom of the league, to now 7-2, second. And we are still within striking distance, or first. Fun day. Really, really fun day of games. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, for the love, the support. Couple follows, couple Twitch primes. I feel like overall we had a very fun stream. I think you guys were awesome. I had a good time. I think you guys had a good time. See if Liquipedia has updated yet. Yes, it should be. So these are the standings right now, guys. Vitality does remain in first place with 22 points, 7 wins, 2 losses. In second place, though, it's BASILISK and ShoWTimE. 7 wins, 2 losses. After we started 0-2, we're now 7-2. 21 points. We're actually 1 point clear of DKZ, so we're not even tied second. I said that before. I forgot. So yeah, we are second right now. DKZ is in third place, aka WBG, with 20 points. Shopify Rebellion is in fourth place, tied with Team Liquid. We also have Sidestorm Gaming Navi, obviously, with max specs. Platinum Heroes R8. Top 7, I think, is very stacked. And don't forget that Twisted Fairy is still in there. Mystery Gaming, I think, is damn good, too. Sometimes I forget who's on that roster. But they have Shin. Or at least they had Shin. They no longer have Shin. They got weaker because Shin left. They have Coffee, Cyan, Lemon, SCV, Strange. Pretty decent team, but not quite as powerful as they were before. So there is an absolute turbo banger planned on the 11th playday, guys. Round 11. It is the final game of the season. It is Team Liquid versus Vitality. And if you see how close it is right now, that is obviously going to be very exciting. And what about next week? Shopify Rebellion against WBG on the 28th of July. That's sick. This is actually going to be a fun one too. Team Liquid Twisted Fairy, because Twisted Fairy needs a win to make playoffs. But obviously Team Liquid is Team Liquid. So this is a very, very big match. Shopify Rebellion against WBG. And obviously Team Liquid against Vitality. Basilisk will be playing against the Platinum Heroes and Berserker Esports. I mean, that match between DKZ and Shopify is sick. That is one that I'll absolutely be covering. And after that, we are done. The playoffs will not start until the Esports World Cup is ending. Don't know if they have current dates. At least not here. But yeah, awesome. I think that was a very, very fun day of StarCraft 2, guys. 7-2 City. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple minutes for myself. I want to go grab myself some food because I'm hungry. I made myself a coffee a long time ago that I never even got to. And then I'm going to play some F1 with my friends. So StarCraft 2 is over. We are going to take a little break. By the time that I come back, I'm going to play some F1 with my friends on Discord. If you guys like that, you can stick around. If you don't have any interest in that, which I know a lot of StarCraft 2 fans don't, that's all good. Thank you guys for stopping by. Fun day. Very happy with the win. I had a good time. You guys had a good time. See you guys in a bit. Thank you all for stopping by. Bye-bye.